Yep. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Today, we're going to talk about using AdWords to capture inbound leads. In other words, how to get people calling you. It's Don and Mark Moxham and Amber Van Bueller, the brains of the outfit. And we're here to just explain to you how to do this. And what we're going to cover today is how to do it, what it takes to get it done. So, you could actually do it for yourself. But then we're also going to show you how we can do it for you and take away all the risk and all that kind of stuff. But you'll at least leave here understanding how AdWords can do your job for you. So moving right along. Click. Okay. There are three types.
Hold on. You're not sharing your screen.
Oopsie. My bad. Sorry, folks. Let me start with this. Go back one. Previous. That. And then go desktop 2. And then. There we go. And share screen. Oops, no, that's not what I want. I'm sorry, I'm going to fix that. Stop share. I got to get the whole screen because I got to slide something on after. So, share screen, desktop. Okay. Now we got it. Okay. You can cut that out of the video. So, like I said, what did I just do? I hate that. This is using AdWords, as I said, to capture inbound leads, getting people to call you. Basically there are three types of digital marketing, right? There's social media, which is sort of the longest term play, where you go out there and you try to create a tribe or a group or, some kind of connection to a large number of people and to influence them en masse, to create a presence, to get people to recognize you as an authority, to become known, liked, and trusted to that group. Once they know, like, and trust you enough to sort of connect with you personally, you get to go to the next phase, which is email marketing. And email marketing, you continue to drip on them until they move past that. But at least with email marketing, you're communicating with one single person. And so those are the first two. But the third major form of digital marketing is search marketing, Google search marketing. Don't get me wrong, there are other things, but those three comprise probably 90% of all the marketing. And Google search is huge, as we all know. Google search is a way most people find most things. And it gets bigger. It's huge now, getting bigger. So it's ginormous, getting gigantic. And when it comes to Google search, there are two things. There are organic versus paid. Organic is when you have a site that is so relevant, that is so on point, that is so complete, or is so well recognized by other sites that you're listed at the top or near the top of the Google search results page, and people click on your link. Or alternatively, you can pay to get on the search page and become one of the results to get a chance at having people check you out and potentially do business with you. So organic is great. It's great stuff. Unfortunately, it takes an amazing amount of work, and I'll touch on it later, but to build a truly dominant organic site, you can build a site that might rank and be serious for very limited, number of search terms and keywords, if you will, real small number. But the big issue is to have a site that's really dominant in your industry. And that's where you go. When you get to that point, when you cover virtually all the ways that people can talk about who you are and you're dominant at that is the big, big win. To get past that and to be able to assure yourself that you will in fact show up when you want to, you can do paid. And that's your pay per click. That's where you pay money and you get to put a listing in, which is an ad. And that ad gives people a chance to check you out. And if someone clicks on it, you pay. And that's, been the Google model, and they've only made probably $400 billion with that so far. And one of the reasons they've made all that money is because they recognize that their client is not the person who pays them, strangely enough. Their client is the person who searches and gives them nothing at all, except their eyeballs. The client, is they know that as long as they keep becoming the person that people will go to, that they'll be able to sell you anything they want to. All right. And it's so by being relevant, not people just not being aware of you, but realizing that that you're the person that they want to see, that it's relevant to what they want, they'll come to you. Google's goal, in effect, is to make it so that when you're trying to answer a question, and every search is a question, right? When you're trying to get a question answered, they want to make it so that the first click that you do is exactly the answer that you're seeking.
Yeah.
And that's their entire focus. That's what they try to do every day. They do it. They constantly upgrade. They employ everything. They employ live site reviews. They've added AI, artificial intelligence. That they all these things, and they just keep getting bigger and better and bigger and better and bigger and better. I guess the better is debatable, depends on what the term better means, but they certainly get bigger and more powerful every day. So what are AdWords? And if you know AdWords, I'm not trying to be sort of down. I just want to make sure everybody's up to speed. AdWords are those things that you see is every time you do a search, right? Right at the top, right? If someone searches for a financial advisor near me, those top 4 listings right there are ads. Somebody paid to be there. And I want to point out that the Google's 3-pack, which is awesome, which is usually the first local thing, would be the next item that would show there. Okay, so if you can have an ad and a 3-pack, that's sort of a double slam dunk, and that's awesome, and we can do that. But just want to point out that the ads still go to the top because hey, you're paying money, right? So that's what AdWords do, and you'll note that there's not a tremendous amount of information about them. They've got to be written fairly concisely. They really need to be something that people want to click on and need to be attractive. So, what are the results like? Well, when you're using AdWords to drive people to a site, the typical result is it takes 5 clicks to get an inbound phone call. And I would submit to you that virtually everyone on this call doesn't do any business with anyone just because they clicked on their site. No. They don't do any business because they're sending them emails. You do business with them because you finally got to talk to them. So the highest and best result you can hope for from anything is an inbound phone call from someone who is searching for the types of products and services that you do offer. So, what determines when your AdWords ad is shown, right? You don't just buy an ad and say, put this ad in there. It has to go up a certain time. And the way that they do that, is keywords. So when the search term that someone uses equals a keyword that you've selected, you say to Google, when this word or this combination of word or this string of words shows up, I want to put an ad in there, and here's how much I'll pay for it. That's how it determines whether or not your ad has a chance of being put up, right? It doesn't mean your ad will be put up. It just means that you'll have a chance, okay? And there's many ways that you can make, and usually there's a lot of competition for that. And there are many, many ways that you can make your ad the one that they choose. And honestly, you have to work on all of them to make yourself consistently a winner in this arena. The 2 things that matter the most to Google, going back to it again, can't say this often enough, relevancy. If your ad is relevant, if the copy is relevant, if the page the ad refers to is relevant, really, really relevant, and if your bid is reasonable, your ad can get shown. And I will tell you that Google has an algorithm that nobody knows what it is, but they balance out relevancy and bid. Yeah. I mean, you can have a crap ad and bid $100 or $200 or $500 for every click, and you'll get them for a little while, but then Google will still throw you out. Because if your ads go to crap content and it doesn't result in anything, they'll stop showing your ad, even though it's $500 a click.
Yeah.
Or you could have bids that are far lower, but the relevancy is spot on, and people click it a lot and click through. That means that Google will show your ad. So, it's very, very important that you have both of those things in the right measure in order to get where you want to be. So what are keywords? Well, the keywords are those words that we talked about, that clients will type when they're looking for you, like financial advisor, financial planning, financial counselor, financial management, investment management, investment manager near me, investment manager Wilmington, investment manager Hampstead, investment manager 28443, the kinds of things that people will type. And here's a little, sort of selection of just a few little ones that we threw together. I just typed up anything I think of. that we got some, safe money, successful retirement, financial planner, managing money. Face it, if someone typed up financial advisor or financial advisor near me, would you want to show up? Of course you would, right? So that's what the keywords are. And we'll go into those a lot more in a bit. Okay. How many keywords should there be? Well, here's the thing. There should be between 10 and 20,000 keywords for a successful keyword campaign. Yeah. And the reason is it's every single word you can imagine that has anything to do with your business. And then in almost any order you can imagine. So it could be financial advisor 28443. It could be financial counselor 28443. It could be a financial planning 28443. It could be a financial planning Hampstead. It could be financial planning Pender. It doesn't matter. Any of those things, all of those things have to be done. So it's essentially take all those words and just in almost every possible combination.
And misspellings as well.
And misspellings and common misspellings and all that kind of stuff. And the reason Mark keeps chiming in is because he's only been an expert at this for 10 years. So he has a lot to say about this. But, long tail keywords, if there are more than four or more words in the term, it is considered a long tail keyword. So financial manager near me is a long tail keyword. Yep. Financial manager near me 28443, that's now 5 words. Financial manager retirement planning near me 28443, that's a very long, all of those combinations come out and it's like all the variations. So those numbers get up in the tens of thousands very, very quickly. And in order to have a successful campaign, in order to be able to get all of those odd searches, odd requests, odd things, you have to put those things in there. And so that building that keyword, your keyword list is massively important, and also getting rid of bad keywords is massively important. So there's a lot of things that you need to worry about. Also, negative keywords, words you don't want to have in there, right? So there's more to that. Successful people are not gifted; they just work hard and then succeed on purpose. So what determines success? Well, in our case, you really have to have the way that you succeed with a keyword is that every single keyword, and I mean individual string of words, not the 500 words that might be the words themselves. It's the string of words, like financial planner near me. You actually have to have a single page, an entire page with at least 300 words and all the rest of the stuff and images and everything else built for that single search term.
Yep.
That's how you build a successful keyword campaign. Now think about that. You're talking about for all of the productive keywords, and there will be thousands of them, you literally have to build a page for that. And if you do not, you will not win. You will spend too much money and it will not go well for you, okay? So that's what keywords do. And so what are the other things that determine success, right? Well, and this is what you build into the page. The bid, as we said, the bid price and relevancy, incredibly important. Are the keywords in the URL? In other words, is it, financial planner near me in the URL, .com, okay? That's what, that matters very, very much. That's a very high ranking feature. Oh, by the way, there are 200 of these things. These are just some of the major ones. Is the site ranked? Do you get traffic? Is there traffic coming to the site? So if you're on a site that gets, a couple hundred hits a month, you're not going to get much. If you get thousands and thousands of hits a month, you're going to get much better pricing, which ties into our overall plan. We'll share that with you in a minute. Is the keyword tagged in images? So in other words, when you put the image in on that page, is that image tagged with the keyword? Is the keyword in the descriptions? This is all behind the code stuff. Is the keyword in the meta tags? And if you don't know about coding, everything, this is all what SEO guys do. Yep. But this is in massive quantities and in at the most minute level. Yeah. Does the page have meaningful content? Going back to the AI, the artificial intelligence thing, Google did a release called Hummingbird. Hummingbird employed artificial intelligence to review pages to determine if the content was meaningful or if it was gibberish. And that has knocked tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of pages completely off the search because they were mostly just crap.
Yeah.
So you have to have meaningful content. Is the page fast loading? You might not think that's important, but Google will not send it to a page that loads slowly. That people get frustrated with that, and they don't want their clients frustrated. Is the page responsive? If I'm searching you on a tablet or on my smartphone, is the page properly formatted for that, or is it all mucked up? That matters to Google. They care. They do that. And click-through rate. And here's something people don't think about. Google only gets paid if someone clicks on your ad. If your ad is not attractive enough to people to get them to click, Google will stop showing it, or will charge you more and more and more, and then stop showing it. So first they'll suck all your money out of you, and then they'll stop showing it. That's how they roll. That's why they're riding around in private airliners, and we're all driving cars, most of us anyway, because they're absolutely brilliant at that, and they do suck every dime out of you, and they will. An AdWord campaign, poorly conceived, can suck a whole lot of money really fast. Okay. Now let's talk about directory sites, because we're going to be moving towards them. Directory sites are incredibly powerful. Google loves them because ordinarily a directory site will lead people to exactly where they want to go. If the directory is about the kind of people they're looking for, that's going to be great for them. And directory sites have far higher click-throughs for AdWord campaigns. If you saw one of those sites we saw in the AdWord campaign was a directory site, that probably would get the best click-through of that batch of advertisements. Yeah. And here's the thing. Think about if you're in a directory site. Now, if I go to a directory site and say it was called financialplanningoptions.com, and it said, what's the best financial planning option near you? Here's who's the advisor you should use. Enter your zip code and find out here, and your name pops up. That's a third-party endorsement of you. That makes it look like, hey, it's almost like being on TV. Look, this site recommended you as being the one that I ought to see, that you're the best financial planning option. That's what we ought to do. So that's what it can do for you. So the idea is to build a directory site, and what we're going to do for those who want to do it with us is we're going to create a powerful site for every advisor, and then turn all those sites into a directory site. So think about it. For every advisor that we work with, we're going to build the thousands of pages out. And by the way, we are, as you probably have figured out from all the things we've created, highly automated, and many, many things are created. A lot of the stuff that you would do manually, we get to automate and turn out much more quickly, which is why we can do it like that. And as a result, we can create massive sites with all this content. And one of the things I didn't even mention before is if you try to build a site without AdWords, you have a lot of disadvantages. Okay, and that is that first of all, you do lots and lots and lots of work. Build lots of content, got lots of links, do all the things you can possibly do, optimize it every way you can. Then all you can do is go around and just keep searching Google and all sorts of different search words and see where you come out. And see if it's helping you. I mean, they have some tools that will do it for you, but that's the only way. On the other hand, when you're dealing with AdWords, I'll go out and start an AdWord campaign, and within a few hours, I'll have thousands of data points. Who searched what? Why my ad got shown? Why it didn't get shown? How often it clicked through? What my click-through conversion? Every little bit of information. And because of that, by building a site through running an AdWords campaign, I can build a perfect site. Now imagine 300, 50, 80, 100, 300 perfect sites of thousands of pages each, all tied together, so that you're talking about 500,000 to 1 million page site, and the traffic that gets. When I talked to you earlier about being highly ranked and having the traffic, all that traffic accrues to the same site. All of a sudden, you are super dominant. And remember, when we're working for you, if we can get more people to click through and call you, that gets you more outcome, and it reduces our costs. So it makes us more profitable and you more profitable. So we're on the same side of the thing. One of the great things is you get guaranteed results with this because you only pay for legitimate inbound leads, and we'll go into that more in a second. But the other thing is that results start very soon after the campaign begins, because even though we're just getting started, we're starting with our first data points, you'll start having hits right away. Okay? So you'll get there much more quickly than you will if you sit there and try to build a site and do the SEO. I know people have spent $25,000 on SEO and still not made any significant dent. If you spend $25,000 on this, you will be the dominant god king of your digital market, okay? So like I said, with AdWords, they'll tell you exactly what is searched and what to do and what you need to fix because they want you to pay them more. Without AdWords, it's hope and pray. I hope and pray that what I put down made a difference. So let's look at some bids. So let me pull these up here. This is just a group that we pulled out of keywords we just threw in. Now I want you to point out up here at the top, all we did, this is Google has a keyword planner, right? And you can just put in some keywords, and then it gives you all sorts of keyword ideas. Well, we threw in financial planning, retirement planner, okay? And they started giving us output, all right? This just was for example. Well, the top one, which is online financial advisor, which I probably wouldn't, why did that shrink? Which I probably wouldn't, is that too big? It's too big, isn't it? Which I probably wouldn't want, but they want $100 for a click for that. Now, I want to point out that this is what you need to win the top page. This would be the low range if you had the perfect site, okay? So the highest one could get down to maybe $17 if you had the perfect site. Doesn't mean you'd win. It just means it's the low bid, okay? Now, online financial planner, am I saving enough for retirement, is $90. Certified financial planner near me, $53 per click. Life financial planning, $47.87. Financial advisor, $43.95, $44. Financial planning, $40. Developing a financial plan, $41. How to find a financial advisor, $37. Advisor financial, even reverse order, right? It's $37, $36.98. Just on and on. But look at all these terms and all the different things: personal wealth management advisor, family financial planner, financial advisor, retirement plan advisors, all this stuff. But we go all the way to the bottom, and these are hundreds of keywords, right? And when you go to the bottom of the hundreds of keywords, you see that the least expensive one is planning for retirement 60 that we had so far, and that was $23.56. Now I want to point out that it was $23.56 and that it takes 5 clicks on your website on average to get someone to call you. Okay? Which means that if you're buying sort of down to the low end, you could spend anywhere from $118-ish for that, up to $500 for 5 clicks. Okay? And that is some pretty scary numbers when you're trying to figure some things out. That's the risk you take when you start an AdWords campaign, if you know what you're doing or if you don't know what you're doing. Okay? You start doing that. One of the things that we will benefit from is pure volume, sheer brute force that we have, and the fact that if we get 10 or 15 or 20 or how many people we have, and we already have a number of them signed up, who do this, we'll start a campaign with everybody. What you do with these campaigns is you do a short run and then you evaluate the data. Then you make your adjustments. Then you do another run, and then another run, and another run. You do it every day. Our benefit will be if we make a short run with 20 people, we get 20 different points of data. And every one of them will have different outcomes, as you well know. But all of them apply everywhere because it just happens to be that particular place, that particular time. But if it's about financial advisors, it's all going to be very similar, right? Yeah. So we get to cross-pollinate what we learn from one campaign to another into all of them and greatly accelerate our learning curve, but our results curve. Yep. And therefore, we can do things that you couldn't possibly do on your own without spending a great deal of money, right? Now, and we haven't talked about the time cost of building a site, because even building a site with the guidance of AdWords, still building a site, still a lot of work to it. I mean, it is, yeah. If you automate stuff, there's a lot of things that have to be done manually. That's a big deal. So, oops, let me go out here. Beep. Okay. So the benefits of Done For You, and there are many. The first thing is that, as I said, there's a tremendous amount of setup time. And I mean, I'm talking in terms of, for someone who's not experienced, or even if you hire, whether you hire somebody or if you did it yourself and you're not experienced, it's going to take hundreds of hours and a hell of a learning curve. If you hire someone to do it, as I said, I know people who spend $25,000 getting their site SEO. Building an AdWords campaign on a one-off basis is very, 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 very time-consuming, very, very expensive if you're doing it for just one person, because you can't break the cost out through a number of people. So that's one of the benefits that we have that we can apply and use for you. The other thing is constant tweaking and tuning. This is not something you stop. You are doing this tweaking and tuning every day, every time you run it, for weeks and weeks and weeks. You could be a year into it before you really have a campaign truly completely tuned out, where you've gone through all the, where you're at the, the 4,000 or 5,000th keyword, where basically if someone's clicking on any of, more than once a month, you have a special page for it. That's the kind of outcome we're looking for. That's the kind of outcome we will achieve. And that's the kind of thing that ensures that you win at it, right? You can do that. You can do that, or you can let us do that and only pay for when you get leads. We have a tracking system and verification of phone calls. There's no risk. We guarantee your results. All right. You only pay for legitimate live lead phone calls. You pay, your account is charged when you pay against people who call in who are looking for your services. These are people who are highly qualified because they're searching for your services. And one of the things we have involved is that we have a minimum phone call length of a minute to eliminate wrong numbers. So if somebody calls up, is this Joe's Bar and Grill? No, it's not. Click over, right? But in addition to that, we have every single phone call is recorded so that we can have a review dispute process. If you say, hey, that was Don, that wasn't a lead. That call wasn't a lead. I say, okay, well, let's listen to it. We'll both listen to it together. And I believe that everybody on this call realizes that if you and I sit and listen to it, that, I'm a person of integrity. I will say, yep, that was crap. That was a no good call. Or, well, sounded like he was looking for business and, whatever happened. But most likely if you say it's not a lead, I'm going to bet it's probably not a lead, and we'll just verify it. But we will have the ability to do that, and we will all agree. And one last really big thing to keep in mind, and this is huge in today's environment. There is no compliance. There's no need to worry. That none of this content is yours. None of this site doesn't show you. It doesn't show your products. It doesn't show your services. It doesn't do anything other than to give them information about what they're interested in and refer them to call you. That's it. That's all it does. Therefore, all your communication with them will be a phone call, which is, obviously not a really compliance issue, or when you meet with them in person, or whatever you give them, which you completely control. So this is at 100% clean as a whistle, no worries, get your leads, not to worry about it. Someone calls you up for business, okay? The one caveat that I would throw at you is that this is a scorched earth deal, okay? Now think to what I just said. We're going to take a site and we're going to optimize it for thousands of keywords around everything you're interested in and around your whole area. So all the zip codes, all the cities, all the towns, all the counties, all those things combined with all that will all be built into your particular, the site that we will build for you inside of that, right? That means that if we brought someone else on for that same area, we'd be competing against ourselves and driving up our own price. And that's stupid.
Yeah.
So we will you don't have to worry about us not bringing somebody else in. We're going to be more concerned about it than you, because we don't want to lose money on two people rather than potentially make money on one, right? So that's where we're coming from. So it is a scorched earth deal. When we're done, when you have a situation of a location with us, an area, that area we will not be cross-pollinating it with any other people, okay? Sort of an only difference might be if you're in an area that has so many people you couldn't keep up, okay? There will be some massive, huge cities like, maybe, something like a Dallas or a LA or something like that, where the numbers are so huge. It might take, if depending on how it's set up, 2 or 3 people to oversee it. But trust me, we're going to make doggone sure that you get all the leads you can possibly get, because we want you to have all that that you want, right? So here's the offer that we have to make to you. Now, as I said to you, it's hours and hours and hours to set up, and it is, then the cost per click of the cheapest ads cheapest calls we saw were over $23, so that's like $115. We're for that, and that's with you taking all the risks, doing all the work, and not paying anybody to do it. We're willing to do all that for you and set it up situation where you can order it. You can do 8 leads for $1,000, or you can do 20 leads for $2,000. Now, the reason why we need that kind of commitment is we wouldn't want to do all the work of building up that one site and have you go, I'll take 2 of them, and we just lose a whole bunch of money. So we want you to get into it. We want you to try it out. We want you to do it. The nice thing about it, all these leads, is if you don't use them all in 1 month, it rolls over. You never lose a lead. You'll always have, you always have the credits for all the leads that you paid for, and you always get those leads. So that's how that works. And that's what we want to do for you. As I said, the big benefits we have is by aggregating all of those sites into one big site, we're going to be able to get you far more traffic. We're going to be able to get you far more leads, and we're going to be able to reduce the cost so we can make money too. So it's a mutual benefit. We're all pulling yours in the same direction. We're all looking to be successful at this. As I said, Mark and I have been doing AdWords for a long time. Mark's been much more deeply into it than I. We've both been testing these out. AdWords, it really is amazing the data you can get and how quickly it works. And it is powerful stuff. So at this point, I will take any questions. This here is the link to sign up. Can we put this in the chat, Amber? Can you, or Mark, can you put that in the chat?
I think so.
To everybody? That'd be awesome. All right. But that's it. And by the way, the one thing I will say is, because you get to, what you do is the startup amounts to, you give us the keywords that you can think of, because we're going to think of thousands and more, but we're going to take, if we get the keywords from everybody, we're going to get a lot more selection. You give us the keywords, you give us a phone number, and what we're going to tell you is to go to get a free phone number from Google Voice, so that, and if you already have one, you can get another one. Go to Google Voice and get a phone so that you have a single phone line that you'll know where the calls are coming from, and that one place to take all of your messages and everything else, and you'll know that when it comes in from that number, it's always a lead, right? And then we need to know the hours that you can take phone calls, right? Yeah. So, because the ads will only run in the hours where you're taking phone calls, so that we try to keep all the phone calls just to when you are ready to have a phone call. And go ahead.
We have our first question from Christopher. He's asking, will this be for GMG business? So he is a GMG Stride agent. Yep,
you can absolutely do it for GMG business. We can do that as an add-on, because there's lots of GMG guys here. And so we hadn't really looked to focus on that right away. Most of the GMG guys are financial advisors also, but we can certainly do that as an add-on and focus on the GMG stuff as additional keywords in your location. No worries.
That's it for right now. Thank you.
No other questions? That's it, guys. Well, let me ask you a question. Was this, first of all, was this informative? Does it help you understand it? Was any part of it that you feel like didn't make sense, or sort of want to give me any feedback? You don't really have to ask questions. If you want to just share some feedback in the chat window, that'd be awesome. Love to have that. Anybody? Anyone? Okay. If you have any questions about anything, I'm happy to answer them. Had that. Okay. I didn't tell this. This price has to do with this rollout. Once we have a number of people in, we're going to probably be adjusting the price depending on what it is. This is a introductory price. If you come in at this price, we will lock it in for 6 months minimum. So you can stick at this price for 6 months. And then, if there's a change, you'll always get preferential treatment. But my guess is that it'll be, if anything, it'll be, we'll get more and more efficient. So it'll be better and better for you. But for 6 months, at least, you'll have this to work with.
So John is asking, is this done by county?
It's done by, it depends where you are, but sort of everything. It's done by zip codes, city, county, state, all those things. So it's. I'm not going to say this county is yours. It might be that you have, in my area, I'd get probably 4 counties. I might get 6 counties. In your area, you might not get a whole county. Your county would be listed, but the cities and the towns inside of it might be, your county might have, 1.5 million people in it, which is enough for, 2 people at least, right? Or probably 2 people. So we would break that into a couple, some of the towns here and some of the towns there. So it's going to be based on the total number of people that it takes to make it successful. Honestly, it's going to be, we'll be looking at trying to get somewhere from 300 to 500,000 people per person as the areas that we're working on. So, it's because it's not, unfortunately, the country isn't a big square laid out in grids where they're equally distributed. You're sort of, working with each of them separately. Right?
Okay. So Renan has asked, so people call me directly and know they are calling me.
Correct.
Okay.
They are calling you to find out about financial advice.
Awesome. Next question is, what if our website is only so-so?
It's not your website that matters. It's the one that we're building. Your website, if your website's only so-so, you should fix that, but that doesn't have anything to do with this. We're completely building the site that AdWords is focusing on. That's how you get insulated, and that's how we get to build something huge that leverages off all the others. So the state of your website, it doesn't even matter. The fact is, you could have no website. It wouldn't matter for this program because we're building the site.
Very good. I believe that's it.
Super job.
Last one, I lied. If I don't get the call, how do I follow up?
Well, if you don't get the call, you're going to get you'll get two things. One is you'll on your phone you'll get the missed call, right? So you'll have the phone number. You can hit the call back. And the other thing is that if you're using Google Voice, it'll go to voicemail, and they can take a message there. And we can send you a text that says you missed a call.
And you get an email as well.
A text, an email, and missed call. So it's a very comprehensive system.
Okay.
John's hand is raised. John, did you already get it? Is that the same one?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want, I can allow him to talk, or we can just continue the questions this way.
So John wants to talk? Sure, I'll put John on.
I'm not.
Can you, or do I have to do it?
I can do it. I just wasn't sure if he wanted to talk himself.
Okay. If he wants to talk, he can talk. Let him know.
We're already doing it. There he is.
All right.
You're muted, sweetie. Try again.
His voice is very low.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey, John, how are you?
All right. How are you?
Good, man. Good to hear from you.
Can we put other things on the new website that you designed?
Well, what I didn't get into is we're going to be adding lots of other stuff, like we're going to be adding videos and all sorts of stuff. But I don't want to get into the fire hose thing. But you can, when you say other things, what are you referring to?
Just other concepts, or a questionnaire for somebody to complete to see if they qualify to work with us.
Sure.
Things like that. Okay.
Yeah, sure. We can put almost anything on the site.
Where do you get the separate phone number? You said you need a separate phone number?
Well, yeah, the idea is that for us to track it, we need to send it to a single phone number. Now, we could send it to any phone number you want, but my recommendation to you is if you get a Google number, a Google Voice number, What's great about that is that number will actually go directly to, it goes to Google Voice, but then it rings whatever phone you want it to, right? Or all the phones you want it to. So it could ring your office phone, your cell phone, your whatever, the phone in your bathroom, whatever you've got. I don't know. I've got several phones. I don't know how many you've got. But you could have office, home, cell, however you work your life, and that can ring them all. And you can answer whichever one. And the way you'll know it's that call, be the phone number coming in, you'll recognize it. Oh, that's my lead line. Okay.
Okay.
So we'll tell you what that number is to look for when it comes through. I'm not sure if it's going to show the Google number, or if it shows, I think it shows the number coming through, and that'll always be the same number because it'll be coming through our system.
Okay.
All right.
How do we pay for this? Per each lead or what?
What you do is you sign up in package, so you get the eight lead package or the 20 lead package, and then those get you 8 credits or 20 credits, and you don't do it. You get 8 leads for that $1,000, or you get 20 leads for that $2,000.
Well, you mean you pay for the 1,000 up front?
Yeah. And again, that's because we're going to be doing just to get started requires us to put up hundreds of pages. So we need to know that you're in it for at least enough for us not to get killed.
Yeah.
But how long will it take to get 8 leads? Could take a week, could take 8 months?
I would suspect not. 8 months would be ridiculous. No, that's not even close. A week, that'd be great. Probably 8 leads, depending on where you located, John. I can't remember.
Buffalo. New York.
Buffalo's a good size area. You can probably get a pretty good response there. Remember, it'll start like, as with anything like this, again, as you're tweaking and tuning and tweaking and tuning and building, it will increase in speed, right? So it'll start off a little slower and pick up speed because as I said, the first time we run the first 20 sites, we're going to get 20 data points that say, here are the 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 best search terms, and we'll optimize for all of those search terms for everybody. So all of a sudden, everybody will now have 40 more pages built around those search terms, and then we'll run it again and get some more search terms, run it again and get some more search terms, until after 3 or 4 weeks, by the end of the first month, we'll be we'll be 10 to 20 times as effective by the end of the first month as we were at the end of the first week. So it really does. The great thing, as I said about AdWords, is that they give you so much great data.
Mm-hmm.
That you can really hyper tune it if you're paying attention and if you know what to do. That's what matters. Just because they show you something doesn't mean you know how to respond to it properly.
Right. All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thanks for being on.
Thanks, John. So I do have one other one here asking, does the follow-up email have all the contact information to follow up with everyone?
It would be a phone number, because that's the only thing we're collecting from them is the phone number. Anytime, with every single line you add to any collection of any kind of data you try to collect from people, there's a massive fall off from that as you ask for each additional line. It used to be, if you ever notice now when you go to sign up for something, it doesn't even ask for your name in most cases, just says email. Then later on it'll ask for a name, but all it wants is your email, because they've discovered that the fall off is just massive because people are so lazy and they just don't want to give it out. Whereas they'll give you the phone number. If they have your phone number, you can call them, and if you call them back promptly, actually that's going to reflect very well on you.
Yeah.
Awesome. I believe that's it.
Super job.
Anything else, anybody? All right. Well, I think I said, I don't know if I said at the beginning, I might have said it, but my goal was to get this out to you fairly quickly, give you the information, show you what's up. I cannot strongly enough support or endorse to you this concept, because the ability to build a site around AdWords campaigns and create that kind of traffic and then aggregate all those sites together is a really, really powerful, powerful thing. And to be locked into that, to have your place locked down is going to matter a lot.
Yeah.
This is how, J.D. Melberg and, Fisher and everybody else, this is how they get, if you look, their ads come up constantly. Yeah. They spend a fortune on AdWords. of millions and millions of dollars, you will be more effective. You will be more effective because yours will be hyper targeted for local concepts. I mean, for local searches. And that's how, JD Mellberg just went over what, $1 billion last year or something in new business. And who knows how big Ken Fisher is. I know he's got a huge operation. And that's just 2 names off the top of my head. All of the big wirehouses do it. If you're not doing this soon, because let's face it, everything else is fading, right? You're either got to be in social media, which we're in, or you got to be in search. And social media and search is what leads to email traffic anyway. So you should have both of those things covered. If you're going to do it on your own, you're going to risk a lot of money and an incredible amount of time. Now, if you don't have any money, then time is what you should spend. But if you have the money, you should put it where you know it's going to work out. And what I would say to you is if you have 8 leads a month, let's just go for the year, that's 100 leads, right? Well, it would take, 2 clients, 1 to 2 clients to make that profitable. So can you sell 2 people out of 100 who are looking for your services over the course of a year? I would certainly think you would. And if you question that, I would tell you ought to think about what you're doing. It's probably not what you ought to be doing. But I know everybody on this call can do that and can do that easily. I don't know what your conversion ratio is, but what's your conversion ratio of people looking for your services who have called you? That's the conversion ratio you got to be thinking about.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just want to say thanks a million for being on. If there's anything else, we're always trying to develop things that can be of help to you guys. If there's something that we could develop that would be particularly useful for you, please let us know. If you have any more questions, please feel free to follow up with me. But as it is, this is you've got the link in the right there in the chat box and right there up in the thing. If you want to just write it down, capitalization matters, guys. So make sure you get the end of this right. But other than that, like I said, if you have any problems or have any questions or anything else, you know how to reach us all. Thank you so much for being on. Look forward to working with you on this. This is the most exciting project that has been on my table in a very long time. And we've had some great stuff. We're doing some great stuff, video and stuff. But this one right here is just such a baseline, such an incredible foundation for anything else you're doing. So, Mark, thanks so much. Amber, as always, thank you. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now so I can see everybody. And close that.
All right. I think we're good.
All right. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
Don. Bye, all.